Hi, welcome to another episode of Mom Does It All. If you're looking for encouragement, empowerment, and uplifting in motherhood and mompreneurship, this is a show for you. I'm your host, Marta Spurk, triplet mom, certified success coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. In this episode, I'll be talking about how freedom is being who you are unapologetically. But first, you have to figure out who that is. So many times we look back at our lives before kids and kind of grieve the freedom we had, but you can create your own freedom now with your new self postpartum. Let's get right to it. I am just amazed at the response I've been getting ever since I started talking more openly about my feelings about motherhood. And I feel like I've only been able to share more because I've been able to understand more. It's not that I wasn't deliberately sharing it before. It was really because I didn't feel or I didn't understand these feelings until recently. Maybe because it's been tougher on me with the kid's age, with the fact that it's 3, obviously, and because my husband's been away. But it's been insane to notice the amount of people that has been responding to my messages, to my posts, and then sending me private messages to say, I feel you, just watching my stories on Instagram, and lots more people are downloading the podcast. Officially, last month was the very first month that I had over 2,000 downloads. Over 2,000 episodes were listened to in 1 month. That is huge. I mean, to think of when I started, I had like 200, 300 downloads in June of last year. So I am so grateful, and it's crazy, but as I've been telling you pretty much every episode, things just keep happening, and it's like people or whatever it is that I see online usually starts saying the same message, and then it's like, okay, I get it, universe, I get it, God, or whatever you want to call it. And recently I've interviewed several super successful mompreneurs that have been telling me, you have to be authentic, you have to be transparent, and I thought I was being, and several times in my business I felt like this, and then I took a different direction and was more comfortable about what I was doing. And this one time, it was like super, super powerful because, like I said, I've never had such a huge response to whatever I'd said before. And both negative and positive, there have been people that criticized me for the things that I was saying about motherhood. And I have been okay with that. Of course, at first, you feel a little, put off, but it's okay. It means that my message is real and it's getting through to people. And it's crazy to me to think that, you think you are doing something and then something happens and you realize that you weren't really, or that you realize something about yourself that you had no idea. And this is the whole process that I have been, teaching my clients, and even with the 3-day challenge that I put together, was this whole experience that I went through myself of digging up this stuff in me because I truly want to find out what I'm all about so that I can be my best self, so that I can live life to its fullest for me and for my family. And so the same as I thought I was being authentic and being 100% honest about motherhood, and I realized I wasn't, and because of several factors, another thing that I've been talking a lot about is understanding how I thought I really approved of myself and accepted myself and loved myself, but I really didn't. And this is something that I started learning when I first took the Enneagram test, which was a few months ago, because of the podcast and one of my guests, and I've talked about this before too, that I realized, my personality, the achiever, I want to keep doing things and being the best at everything I do, but at the same time, holding on to people's approval. That's why I keep doing things, when in reality, I need to fill that void with self-love. And then the next step with doing this whole self-sabotage thing has been understanding that this is a fear of rejection. And so even though I have always been super self-confident, deep inside, I had this fear of not being liked, of, being rejected. And now that I understand this fully, I just feel this freedom of who cares? I can be whatever I want now. Like, there's nothing standing in my way. And this is the feeling that I want to give you. And that's why I put together this challenge. And that's why I developed a coaching program to help women break free from their guilt, from all their fears, things that they know are there, or things that they are not fully aware are there, so they can literally break free. And one thing that has come about in this whole process, and how I believe, the universe puts things across my path in the exact right time, was I saw a quote the other day that said, "You don't know what you don't know until you know it." And it's so simple, but it's so true. And usually the simplest things are what's true, right? And it's like, how didn't I see this before? But it's totally it. And I truly believe there's a timing for everything, that, you are where you are right now because of your choices, obviously. But at the same time, if you really actively, intentionally seek to get to know yourself, you can know the things that you don't know a whole lot faster. And that's essentially what I did. I decided to be more intentional and proactive about getting to know me, so that I can change the things that I don't like, so that I can be intentional about, making changes for the future and creating the life I love. And this is the message that I want to bring to women. It's like, you don't have to beat yourself up for where you are right now. Of course, there have been, influences from your family or your personal decisions, and understanding what that created for you right now and how that has shaped you. But then understand that you have the power to move forward. And essentially, this is what my challenge is all about. Timing has a lot to do with, things in life, because there are external circumstances and things you can control. But there are several things you can control, starting with yourself, which is, again, the heart of my message. But also being intentional and proactive about getting to know yourself and making changes. And I feel like going through this process of self-reflection and self-discovery, digging deep to find self-sabotage, has been the best thing I have ever done, because it's me looking at myself in the mirror, being honest with myself. It's not pleasant, but it's so freeing, you guys. So if you feel like you need to free yourself from all this baggage that you've been carrying because of relationships, because of your family, because of your environment, then we need to have a talk. You need to go through my challenge. You need to go through my program. And I actually have been opening up spots for breakthrough calls, because essentially this is what I feel like I have gone through, is really a breakthrough in my life, in my mind, in my heart. And this is what I want to help women do as well. And another thing that has come to mind, or, that has come about, is because we're actually taking a little family vacation on the mountains. It's our first ski trip with the kids. We decided we're not going to take them skiing. It was an original plan, but then we decided we weren't. And I wanted to also be real and honest with you guys about the reality of triplet life and the reality with little kids, because you see, again, so many things online that, perfect families and perfect pictures, and what is behind happy family pictures on Instagram or on Facebook. Like 2 seconds before the kids were probably throwing a tantrum, screaming, not wanting to cooperate, and then you look at that perfect picture and you think, my life sucks. Look at this beautiful family. But you don't know what happened before, and maybe they had a really good day. I'm not saying that there aren't good days, but we need to stop looking at these things and trying to, measure up to a standard that probably doesn't even exist, which is a perfect life, and really look inside ourselves. So that's, again, my invitation to you, is to break free from comparing yourself to other families and to other moms and to other women online or even in your life, because that, again, is holding you back. And that goes back to the self-sabotage process that I've been talking about for months now. And that's why I wanted to be real too. It's like you take these beautiful family pictures on vacation, and it's like, little do you know that they were screaming, that they were, crying, that they didn't want to participate in the activity that we were doing. We had like maybe two minutes of fun where everyone was happy. But it's hard to find something that all three of them is going to enjoy. I don't know if it's because of the age or if it's always going to be like this because they're different people. But there are more challenging times than there are more fun times. But you accept to go through the challenges because you want to create fun moments and fun memories with your family. And I just wanted to remind you of that too. Like, it's not perfect. It's chaos. In fact, if you were to see the messages that I exchange with most moms that I talk to, we're always talking about how chaotic it is. So if you feel like you're the only one with a hectic daily life with your kids, that everything is a mess and, you're just feeling less than, don't. Because we all go through this. And one of my friends actually said this the other day. She said, everyone parents the same behind closed doors. And that's so true. I mean, we're not willing to admit certain things to people about how we are parents, right? Or what we do to our kids. And that's not to say we all do the exact same things, but we're all human. It goes back to this. We're all human. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our times when we can't handle our kids anymore, when we don't want to deal with them anymore. And this is what I was saying last week, and people, got mad. Some people got mad at me and complained, but sometimes I don't even want to be a mom. Sometimes I don't even want to have to deal with being responsible for somebody else. I just want to be who I am and say, screw it. I want to go back to the way life was before. And that's another thing that one mom said. She said, I remember I used to do this in my past life before kids. And it's so funny to say past life because it really feels like it was ages ago, like another life before you had kids. Because it's so intense right now with little ones that you don't even remember how things were. But at the same time, you keep wishing that it was like that still. Sometimes, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I wish I could just, sit here with no noise and watch TV. And I actually heard a quote in one of my favorite shows. I've been watching The Goldbergs. I love it. And they said, accept the way the things are and don't get hung up on how they used to be. And I feel like that's a very important message, that while, we're struggling here with motherhood because it is hard, most times we're thinking, I want to go back to the way things were before kids. Not that I don't love my kids. I'm going to add this disclaimer here because some people might think that I don't. I do. It's just tough. And then you kind of wish things could go back the way it was before, but of course not, because you love your kids and you want them to be there too. It's just lots of mixed emotions. And I feel like in many ways, it's that part of us wishing things were the way they used to. But really, they're never going to be like the way they used to. And that's the whole process of rediscovering who you are right now, or really discovering this new person, because things are different. They're not going to go back to the way they used to, even once your kids leave the house, because you're going to be changing and evolving as a person with time anyways. So that's my challenge, and my invitation to you is, yes, embrace the hard times because you're going to be growing and learning, but not to get caught up in how things used to be before kids, because you're never going to go back there, right? So might as well embrace the craziness and the chaos of motherhood and not pretend like it's not there. Talk about it, with your friends, with your counselor, with a coach, because it's important to let all these feelings out. I always say that. And also understand, where do I want to go from here since I'm a new person, since this is a new reality, right? And this is essentially what I've been doing. And so I invite you to go on this journey with me and schedule a breakthrough call. And let's talk to each other. I was looking at the stats for the podcast again last night. And I was amazed to look at the different districts or counties or states in different countries to see in Australia, there are 2 different areas of, people listening to me, or even, I don't know, I forget. I need to look at the map again, but I want to start doing shout outs for the different areas inside the countries and not just say the country, because it's amazing to me that different areas inside the same country are listening to me, like Germany and Saudi Arabia. It's just mind-blowing to me. So I do want to say I'm grateful for you, and I hope this is a message of encouragement for you, that you are not alone, Mom. This is hard, but we're strong, right? That's what Mom Does It All means, like I said last week. We're strong. We are making it happen, even if it's hard. And I also want to emphasize the importance and the power of freeing yourself from all this baggage that you've been carrying, because there is freedom into getting rid of all these layers and really getting to be who you are. Freedom really is being who you are unapologetically. My cousin actually turned 40 the other day, and she posted a little collage of several pictures of her with flowers, and she said, I'm 40, now I can take pictures with flowers. I don't have to care about what anyone says. And she said, because this is real freedom, is being corny and not caring. And it's so true. Real freedom is doing what you love and not caring if other people are judging you or thinking you're corny or that you're weird. Who cares, right? So I want to encourage you, to invite you, to challenge you to believe in the power of being who you are and stripping yourself away from all the negativity, from all the self-sabotage. And that really starts with getting to know who you are. What do you love? And that's why I love the challenge that I put together, and that's why I want you to work with me and talk to me, because I have come to realize the power that is in knowing who I really am, and the freedom that is in not caring about people's approval and just being who I am. And isn't there a verse in the Bible that says, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free? Well, what is your truth? What are you hiding in there that you don't even know? I am so glad you tuned in today. Are you feeling more encouraged? Are you feeling empowered to get to know yourself and create your own freedom? Well, let me help you and assist you in this process. I'm opening up new one-on-one coaching spots for new clients. So send in your application and I will be in touch. The link is in the show notes. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you next time.